I am going to make Katie host. Katie can't leave without um, ending it for us all. So, um, yay. Okay.
Bobby is here, Dawn.
Bobby, hey,
Just saw her
long
doing a
time
list.
no see. Um, it is so good to see your face, my friend.
Yours too. You're talking to me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you. I can see you. Okay. So, um, Kathy. What we are super casual here. We're just going to kind of hang out for a little while. We're going to knit while we talk. I realized I actually forgot my bag at home with all of my goodies in it because I finished the Musselburgh hat that I was working on last week. I finished it over the weekend and I'm going to send it to my mom for Christmas. And I'm like, oh, I don't need my Red Riding Hood bag anymore that I've been tucking all of my little goodies in because I've been opening the days as we go too, so that well, first of all, so that I remember what we have received yet, but also because I like kind of being surprised too. Katie's like, how do you not know what today is? And I'm like, I put it out of my brain. I've forgotten what everything is until I open it, and so I can be surprised too, except today is day 15, and I knew what day 15 was
Nobody
because that
forgets day
was
15.
nobody can ever forget day 15 around our office. That was the one that so we made this in-house. It
And
was
right here. Um, well, that would be
okay, hold on.
Got it.
View, gallery view. I would love to ask if you can, if everybody would mute your thing. Of course, please feel free to talk at any point, but it just kind of helps if we have background noise or things so that they don't kind of jump in. Um, but our Stitch Scout, which was today, um, are I'm going to pin me there. I realized last week I did all of this talking and everything, and then I didn't actually like do a large view. So if anybody watched the recording, they probably had to look in the tiny little view in the side. I apologize for that. We don't do this. We don't do things like this very frequently. Um, but yes, day 15 was our Stitch Scout. This is our multi-tool, as we've been referring to it in the office. Um, this was something that Katie and I came up with several months ago. If you join us for our Wednesday night knit nights, you may have remembered months ago when I asked, so if I were to make something like this, what would you like included in it? And we talked about like the old-fashioned chatelaines that you might have from a Victorian lady, which is like a something that hangs off your belt, and it would have some scissors, and it would have your keys, and it would have a little needle case, and all of these things. So we talked about those sorts of things, and we talked about what we might want in a multi-tool if you had like a Swiss Army knife or something like that for knitting or for crochet. We made every single one of these in-house, our new wood shop team on our laser. I think everybody in the office personally had a hand in putting these together because it did get kind of tight at the end. We were missing a very critical component for it. And so at the very last second, we were all packing these up in boxes for you. If you were missing, it should have come with a darning needle and so it should have come with a darning needle and it should have come with one of our duo hooks inside. If you were missing that, send us a message at support@twiceshirtsheep.com and we'll get those sent out to you because I think I saw a few people who maybe were missing those today. But I can't tell you how enormously proud I am of this little gizmo here. The one that I'm holding is one of our prototypes. I haven't even gotten one of the production ones yet. Um, that but it has 9 tools in one. And my goal was that it would be something that would be small enough that you could fit into the side pocket of one of your bags or in your back pocket if you wanted to. I was thinking about, if you were a Girl Scout or if you were a out in the wilds, what you would like. And so the things that we know that everybody needs is, of course, your needle or hook gauge, which is what is on our outside here. And I know there was some confusion. Is my screen backwards for you guys? It's backwards for me.
Uh-huh. That's
Does
good.
it look right to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. I know there was some confusion. We had a couple of people who said that they thought that they got the crochet version. It's meant to be universal. So where it says H and then 8, the number after is the size of needle. So it's a size 8 and then the millimeter size below that. I know that as knitters, we are used to seeing our number first and then the crocheter letter second. Um, in this instance, things fit better if we put the crochet letter first. So crocheters out there, look, you get top billing this time. That we've got the letter and the number, the hook size and the needle size, and then the millimeter size on there. It's got a 1-inch gauge square that you can put over your knitting or your crochet so that you can determine your gauge. The thing that I really like about these universal type gauge holes is that normally if we're a knitter, we are used to looking at them with the mind that we're going to stab it through the hole like this, that we're going to stab it through the hole. These work just as well for knitting needles as they do for crochet hooks.
What the lightning was. They're still going to make electric vehicles.
Okay, hold on. Who am
I got it.
we got it? Thank you, Katie. Um, so our um that these work great for knitting needles or crochet hooks. So you're going to line up your needle or your hook next to it, and the one that it slides all the way into, that is going to be your size. And the reason why we chose to go with this style instead of the holes is because it'll work for crocheters and for knitters. That a lot of times for crochet, if you have a crochet hook, the hook actually sticks out a little bit farther than the shaft of the hook. So they check your gauge based on how big the shaft is, the straight part, and the hook is sometimes a little bit wider. And so if you try to measure your crochet hook based on which hole you can stab it into, this is going to prevent it from going into the correct hook or the correct hole. So it means that we can then take a crochet hook and we can check really pretty easily which one it fits into without having to worry about whether we are using an offset hook or whether we're using an inline hook. The Susan Bates versus the Boy hooks, are a little bit different that way. This one is a boy, and so it has that kind of where the head sticks out a little bit. So yeah, we've got this as the top. And then I saw a question in the group today about this piece right here. It was just kind of blank and it's got a little finger hook right here. That they asked, what is this? And well, this is just the lid for the compartment. But we did discuss that because this covers it, that we maybe could print something on here, but I didn't want it showing up in the gauge square. So for now, it's blank. But if you have any thoughts about in the future what maybe we might want to put on this space, put it in the chat and we will take notes. So we've got, this is the lid for our little compartment. I'll show you that in a second. We've got, this is what we refer to as our blade or our knife. I'm going to take these out so that they don't fall out while I'm talking. This is our knife. So you'll notice you've got a yarn cutter right here. We've got our little guards so that you shouldn't be able to end up with your cutting your finger in here. We thought we were so clever that on the back side, you'll notice this one is a little bit bigger. It's so that it will snap into this magnet right here, and it will hold it in place so it doesn't accidentally come loose in your bag. And then this little section that looks like a number 1, this is an inch long, so this will be a wraps per inch tool.
Oh.
So yeah, this will be so that if you have a mystery yarn in your stash that you've lost the ball band, or you want to make a Franken yarn where you're going to use several different strands of yarn together, you can wrap it around this inch and then count how many wraps you got in an inch and refer to the chart in your reference guide, and that'll tell you what weight of yarn you have. So that then it's a tool that's used a lot for hand spinners, and that way, since it didn't come with a ball band, you can figure out the weight of the yarn, and then you can find a pattern on Ravelry or in one of your books that you can use with that weight of yarn. Jackie, this is the $100 million question: is will the TSA take it away from me? We according to all the things that I have read on the TSA website, it scissors need to be under 4 inches. We know that knitting needles are absolutely allowed, but sometimes they confiscate knitting needles. Scissors under 4 inches are absolutely allowed, but sometimes they confiscate scissors. It does say that razor blades in a cartridge are allowed, but they're thinking about like razor blades for shaving your legs or your face. It does say that multi-tools without a knife blade are allowed, but they have said that things like the Clover yarn cutter, which is a circle, is not allowed because you can remove the blade. This one is obviously a razor blade in here. You cannot remove it without breaking it. So your mileage may vary. The TSA is known to take whatever the heck they want to take. If you are cautious, I would put it in your checked bag instead of your carry-on, just to be safe. But I did make this with the hope that it would be acceptable. Yeah, Anita says I wouldn't risk it in a carry-on. So yes, they may
We'll try
view
it in
this.
January and then report back. I will try, because if they take mine, I know where to get more. So I'm fine. So I will try it.
Yes, you will try it and we will report back. Georgianne, you said your knitting needles were confiscated coming back from Europe. That is painful. 346 stitches. Oh. I think this is part of the reason why I always travel with interchangeables, is because if worst came to worst, I could just take the tips off and then and put new tips on when I get home. But that is horrifying to have to rip out an entire needle. Yeah, every country has different rules and you have to check. Yeah. Of course, we've got on the end, we have a measuring tape, which has inches and centimeters. On the back is the little button so that you can retract your measuring tape. If your measuring tape is having any kind of troubles, again, send us an email and we can get that taken care of. And the last thing was our little compartment right here that we have that has a long side over here that will fit your darning needle and your little crochet hook or your cable needles. And this side right here is big enough that you can put your row counter, your stitch markers, and things like that. We have had over the years people ask if our twice shear cheap stitch markers are magnetic, and they are not, which comes to the consternation of quite a few people I know. But I discovered that one thing that is really kind of fun is because they are not magnetic, I can put my row counter in here. I can put some stitch markers in here, and I'm going to close it up. Of course, we've got the magnets that hold it closed, that kind of snap it closed, which I love. But it doesn't matter how full this is, that the darning needle is magnetic though, which means if I fill it with all of my stitch markers that are not magnetic and I put in my darning needle, it will find the magnet right here will find my darning needle for me. So when I open it, I always know that my darning needle is going to be there waiting for me because the magnet will find it. Um, oh, you were coming back from Budapest? Oh, oh, um, Annie. Yeah, that's a good idea to take a self-addressed padded mailer with you, with postage on it, and then if you lose whatever, you can mail it back to yourself. Um, yes, good idea. Oh, coming back from Mexico. Oh, yeah, and of course, this is the US TSA probably that is confiscating as you're coming back into the country. Um, and I wonder if maybe they are more cautious coming into the country than they are flying around domestically within the country. I know when I went to Italy a few years ago, I did not take any knitting with me, which was horrifying, I know, but I was terrified they were going to take my needles, so I didn't. I came home with yarn. I have since knit a sweater with the yarn that I bought in Italy, but yeah. Did anybody, I know that last week somebody had a question um, about the knife blade or anything. Did anybody have any other questions about this? Did I answer all the questions? No problems from Scotland. Huzzah, Scotland! Scotland is full of knitters. They appreciate you. Um, did anybody have any other questions about this? I know this was the big thing this week that I was super excited about. But we can go through all of the other things that we had. Oh, the other thing that I know that we were talking about. We had, let me see what we've got here. I've got all my goodies. Um, we had the question about these three were also super exciting this week. Where are my doodle cards? We talked about the doodle cards last week, but we hadn't revealed the yarn yet this week. My intention was both of these are DK, which both the crochet and the knitted pattern that came with the doodle cards are for DK yarn. Um, and so while you can't do a full color spectrum, there should be enough right here for a small sample that you can do a cup cozy. You might be able to do 100 grams may or may not be enough to do just the short little cowl. But you can do a two-color piece of color work and you can try this out, which is what I was hoping would be kind of fun. Oh, Anita, you said there was a chemical odor on your Stitch Scout. Yeah. So these are again, I said they're made in-house. They are yeah. Katie said if you open it all the way up, open all the layers, give it room to breathe. We literally packed these from, they came off the laser after having been stained and polished and varnished and everything. They came off the laser. We hand assembled them and they went straight into the box so that we didn't have enough time to let them breathe before we sent them to you. And I truly apologize. Hopefully, if you once it comes out of its box, it has some time to breathe. Hopefully, that the fumes from the varnishing and everything will have a chance to dissipate. Um, oh yeah, Bobby, if you're shipping your package from another country because you're going into Italy or something, you have to use their stamps. Yeah. Well, and legitimately, a pair of tips of um, interchangeable tips might actually be less expensive replacing your interchangeable tips than it would be to for the postage, but that's only if it's really easy for you to replace them. I know Katie has a set of rosewood needles that I don't think I would ever trust myself to fly with because or just in case.
In the
You
US,
don't
I fly with them all the time. And
you fly with them all the time.
nobody's ever taken them from me in the US. So Other
Yeah.
countries, I know I've heard issues, but so I trust them in the US, but yeah, that is true. They're very special.
Our two 50-gram skeins, yes, Anita, that should be enough for a headband. Which you could totally do. A headband would be super cute if you did just a little border of seed stitch um, or um, garter stitch or ribbing around the edge, and then do one color work chart, one doodle chart, and then finish it off with another little section of seed stitch or ribbing or something. Um, Judy takes her tips off. I've heard people take them off and put them in a pencil case with their pencils, and then nobody looks at them sideways. Oh, yes, Katie, thank you for posting the link. We have a whole list of pattern suggestions that you can use. If you don't want to doodle, we have a whole list of other suggestions on what you can do with your two lovely skeins of Color Story DK. And if you've never gotten to use our Color Story DK, I hope you enjoy it. It is so squishy and lovely. I have a sweater that I made in the confetti color, which I didn't wear today, that is my favorite. I wear it all the time. Um, I love it. Um, the buttons. Okay, raise your hand if you actually knew the story of the three billy goat scruff. I'm really kind of curious. Yes, I love that you guys know this story. I'm going to put it back on gallery. Raise your hand again if you knew so that everybody could see. Haha. Katie, are you the outlier who did not know what the billy goat scruff were?
Probably. I made up my own story for emotional support goats. So does that count? No.
We have talked about within our office that um, there is this thing where high-powered racehorses or show horses that they're afraid to that horses are always herd animals. They like to have friends in the stalls with them or near them. But if it's a very expensive animal and they're a high powered racehorse, they can't afford to potentially have a problem with another horse and then get into a tiff, which horses do, and bite or kick each other or whatever. And so a lot of times the really expensive high-powered racehorses will have a little mini horse that is their companion, or they'll have a goat that is their friend. And so we've been referring to emotional support goats in our office because, the we're we're a high-powered racehorse here, and we need an emotional support goat to help us do the hard thing. But the Billy Goat's Gruff was one of my favorite little. It's not really a fairy tale. It's a children's story, and I love the repetition of it, of the line, "Who's that trip trapping across my bridge?" It's me, the Billy Goat. And of course, we love how the Billy Goats get bigger as they go. You were just a baby Billy Goat, and you should wait for my big brother. And then the big brother Billy Goat comes, and they defeat um, they defeat our troll who wants to eat them. And so when I knew that I was going to do three buttons, it was either going to be the three little bears, because there are three of them, or the three Billy Goat Scruff. And I was so thrilled that we got to do the Billy Goats. Do you guys have plans for your buttons yet? Do you have something that you have in mind? Um, in the I've seen in the Facebook group or in posts where Katie, can you check and see who needs
I
to be
got it.
muted, please?
I
Thank
got it.
you. That I've seen people say that they're looking for a cardigan. I have a fantastic, you can do a very basic scarf shawl thing where you start out with like 3 stitches and you do garter stitch and you increase at one edge every round and it becomes kind of an asymmetrical triangle. And then you can take the short side of the triangle and come around and then button the long side of the triangle over here and it becomes kind of like a triangular um, cowl scarf thing. That would be really cool with just like 3 buttons going down the long side of that cowl would be really cute. Um, yeah, I so if you guys have any great ideas of what you're going to do with them, I would love to hear about them too. Um, what was our okay, so Nancy says she loved the buttons. Is there a way to get more? Ooh, you need 8. Okay, recommendations. Is first I would ask in the make along group this, if there's anybody who doesn't want their buttons, and trade in there. And if no, you get no takers, send us a message and I will talk to our shop manager, Spencer, and see if he can find some time for our UV printer. This was one of our new tools that we bought this summer that lets us print on wood and we can print on metal. So the Anne tin, we printed directly on the tin, and I was so excited for that. So if you can't find any takers, email us at support, and we will see if we can run an extra run and get some of you some extra buttons to finish off your projects. Because I know 3 is enough for something small, but not enough for a sweater or something like that. Anita wants penguins from last time. um, we'll think about adding them to the shop. Katie can add that to our request list to see if you guys might like some more buttons like this. I
I'm
know
all
that
for
there
penguin buttons.
are more
We can
penguin
do,
buttons.
oh
Do we
yeah,
need more penguin buttons?
all the penguin buttons.
I know they're not really anything fancy, but it is kind of fun to have specialty buttons that you can use for something every once in a while. Um, let's see, what else did we get this week that was exciting? Oh, this one was a request from you guys. So, last year when we released the cast on markers, we had so many people who were like, but I never can, like 50 is so high. Can I have something smaller? So these ones that you got are cast ons by 20. So hopefully that will help that you now have smaller numbers and you can combine them if you got your 50 set last year. Now you can count by 20s or 50s, or if you take the 0 off of the end of the number, you can count by 2s or 5s or 10s or 20s. We've got all of the things. So hopefully these are helpful for you. We did do them in the large melody clips, which means that should work for any knitting needles up to a 10.5, but will also work for most crochet projects. That the large melody clips are my favorite size for crochet because they give you lots of room to be able to get around chunkier stitches. Um, I love this. Look, everybody's like um, swapping buttons in the in the chat here.
I'm gonna put a post up about it in the group too. I can do it while we're talking. So
Yeah. Um, okay. So we had cast on by 20s, which we love. We had um, our nifty little needle threader, which I was super excited about. Actually, Katie said this was a request. Um, by somebody this last year was for a needle threader. And I was looking around and I was like, come on, people, you want a needle threader? Have you seen the little metal ones that you get? And I'm like, but they're so flimsy and that's not very exciting. And we don't want to do that. And I see kind of some beading ones that have a long wooden handle. And I'm like, well, that would be nicer, but that doesn't feel very twice sheared sheep. And so I had this idea that we could make some. So these are handmade by our team, that we could make some that have a wire that is stronger than the ones that you get, the little silver metal ones that you get, and that we could put something adorable on the handle so that then it's more fun than just a little, I don't even know what's on those little metal ones that you get in a sewing kit. It's like somebody's face. I don't know whose face that is and why it's on my needle threader. But I loved our little happy Three Little Bears family. I know that Goldilocks is kind of the villain in this story, and she, breaks into their house and steals their food. But I was kind of picturing that they became a happy little family instead of her being the bad guy. So I chose to make her happy. Yours is hung up as an ornament holder. Uh, because it's so cute. Aw, I love that. The other thing that I like is that the handle is big enough that it's easy for me to hold, and I can find it in my tin among all my other things, so it doesn't get lost. Um, what did you guys think of this one? We've been debating whether this is a one-off thing just for the Advent box or whether we should make some more of these with new designs for the website. Um, that Katie is convinced that we need Maisie the cow on one of these on the website at some point. If you'd like to see these again, Katie says make more. Um, oh, you like it, especially when you show how to use it for weaving in yarn. Um, love the website edition. Okay. We will see what we can do about making some of these. Um, and um, getting them in some more styles on the website. Can you pre-order the multi-tool? The multi-tool is available on the website January 12th. So that is when what we refer to as January launches, when our January collection goes live, is January 12th. And we have a whole page on the website. Katie, if you could put the link of all of the things that will be available on January 12th. It's not everything in the Advent box. There are a lot of things that have only been for people who got the Advent box, but we have quite a few that are going to be available then. There's a big purple button that says add to wish list. If you click on that, it will add it to your wish list. And if you are logged in, where it knows what your email address is, it will send you an email as soon as that goes live. Yes. So we're super excited about that. Um, Then, of course, did everybody guess what story this one was? Our little yarn bobbins. Cindy is nodding her head. Yes. Um, I think I loved when our team packaged these that they put the two heels together. I was like, just put them in there loose. It'll be fine. And they're like, no, no, no. We need her to click her heels together so that she can get home safe. So we've got our ruby glitter yarn bobbins. These ones are itty bitty teeny tiny little bobbins, which are great for end minders for wrapping up the tail of your yarn. And I didn't think I needed something like this until Katie says, "No, no, no, we need to make this thing." And I'm like, "Really, Katie? Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes, we do." And I'm like, "I never knit with my tail. It's not a problem for me." And then you know what? The next time I picked up my needles, totally knit with the tail instead of the main yarn and had to rip out like half a row. So, um, yes, they are useful that way. And binders are awesome. We do have as part of the January collection, we are not offering these guys specifically, the little, the ruby slipper ones, but we do have a sheep and we have a cat and we have a dog that will be available on the website on January 12th. They are a little bit bigger. So the dog is like the ones that we had last year in the Advent box. So he's a little bit bigger than these guys, which makes him perfect for even doodles where you have just a little snippet of color that needs to go across one row or something. These guys are really, really nice for that sort of thing. So you don't have to take a whole ball of yarn with you. You can take just a little bit and put it in your bag. Is another fun thing for end minders or for yarn bobbins or oh, do I have my cat? Okay. So this is the cat that we'll have in January. And here is our sheep friend. So, and the sheep has a notch here and a notch here for you to stick your end of your yarn and get going. Um, tin labels. Okay. Katie was right on this. This was a request from, I believe it was Jean. Jean always requests good things. What for something to be able to label your tins. And when we were putting things in here, um, that I thought, oh, they're not going to like just stickers. That's not going to be exciting enough for them. So I made all of these adorable die cut stickers with the princesses, so that I felt like this box was more and was more exciting. And all week, you guys, all you've been talking about is the tin labels. So you got bonus from me because I didn't think they were enough. Um, but yeah, so we had the tin sticker labels, which of course you've got the ones that are pre-done. So we've got the sizes that we offer stitch markers and row counters on our website are small, medium, large, and extra large. And then we have common categories of things that you might be putting into your tins. And then of course we've got the blank labels. If you've got some kind of solution or other things that you put in your tins, you can label them that way. And the labels do fit um, on the tins on the end. They also will fit on the side or on the bottom, of course. And on the small tins, I believe they work best if you put them on the bottom of the tin. Um, but of course, in the Advent box, it was the large tin. So yeah. Katie, thank you for putting links in the chat. I don't think I could do this without you. Anita says, I saw someone use their label maker for tins they had. Yes, you can totally use a label maker. I just thought rainbow, like the unicorn rainbow colors were prettier. Um, so we've got them in those. Did we miss anything that we got in our box this week? Um, I'm trying to think what we have coming up. So we've got a little over a week left. We'll have another meeting like this on next Monday, and we'll go over the things that we get this week. And then I can't believe next week is Christmas already, guys. Um, um, Marjorie, you haven't gotten any tins yet. I know that there was it day two was our Anne Shirley tin? Um,
Three, I think. Three. It was three.
day
Yarn
three.
Gator was two.
Yarn Gator was two. Day three was our Anne Shirley tin. So you should have one that was in your Advent box. Um, and oh, Dina, have you guys enjoyed these sessions? I hope you've enjoyed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yay. I'm so glad. I've enjoyed them too. I think that it's a really great way that we can talk about things. Yes, we will be at the same bat time, same bat channel next Monday, and we could talk about the things that we did. We can, it's almost Christmas. We can talk about those things.
I've got,
When did you
I've got,
guys,
I've got two questions.
yes, do
One,
ask questions.
one
Okay,
is, one question is about something that did not come in the Advent box. So I've never been able to figure out what these are for. These guys?
okay. So the lobster claws,
Yeah. What are they for? What do
so
people use them for?
we had the ones that we sell on our website are a little bit larger than that usually. But you can so our lobster claw clips are large enough that you should be able to fit them on a needle like a stitch marker, but they're also really great for crochet clip markers. They can hold your working yarn so it doesn't unravel when you step away. They are great for you can mark your progress as you go. This is a tip from Katie that I have been using frequently. So I am currently knitting a fingering weight sweater vest for my husband for Christmas in dark navy blue, of course.
Of
Um,
course.
and it has 320 stitches to it. And so every round, like it takes about an hour to go an inch. I don't see much progress. So the a progress marker is if you clip it onto your knitting just under your needles, And then as you knit for the day or as you knit for the week, you can see how much fabric has grown between your needles and where you clip that stitch marker. And so it really helps you get a much better feel like you're actually accomplishing something, particularly if you're working in miles and miles of stockinette. They're also really great if you use them to like in conjunction with the work and tell measuring tape. If you need to knit your sleeve where it is longer than the 12 inches of the work and tell measuring tape, you can cut that measurement in half. So, like if you need to knit 14 inches for a sleeve, you can set your work and tell measuring tape to 7 inches and then knit 7 inches and then clip that marker and then start over your count again. And now you need to knit 7 inches from that clip marker. Um, so it's kind of a way of marking a place within your
He
fabric.
never came.
Is that helpful?
Darcy.
Is
Yeah.
it gone?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Jackie, you're muted now. Sorry.
I think I heard there's going to be a retreat in Pocatello. Is that in 2026 or 2027?
2027. So I know we're talking about it a long time in advance, but this takes us some time to prep. So yes, we are planning what we're calling Twice Shoe Cheap Summer Camp in Pocatello in June of 2027. That enrollment for that will open late May this year, or actually not this year, late May in 2026. We've got our venue picked out. We've got our teachers all lined up. Katie, did you want to tell them who our teachers are?
Yeah. So Dawn is teaching by special request. Everyone's been asking for Dawn to teach classes. So Dawn is teaching. Our crochet teacher is my friend Becca, who is Radiant Beans. She teaches locally to me, and I'm super excited for you guys to get to learn from her. Corey Eichelberger, who has designed some patterns with us, and the Corey's Drop Stop Stitch markers that we just released are hers. And then Laura Nelkin is going to be teaching for us as well. So we're super excited, and they are super excited. Laura Nelkin, told her she's going to teach in the ballroom, and she asked me if she could wear a ball gown, and I said, that sounds great. So it's going to be a good time.
We're gonna have a great time.
I'm very excited.
Anybody else have any other questions? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask me? Oh, Karen, you can wear a ball gown too. I think
Does
we
that
should
mean
have
we have to
gown
all
night.
get ball gowns? Oh, that means we might all need to get ball gowns. Our team is going to love that. Okay, great. That sounds fun.
Yes, Anita, on January 12th, you can get extra 10 label sheets. They come in the pack of 2, where you get the labeled ones and the blank ones. And they will be on the website January 12th. Ooh, tiaras. That might be a fun prize, Katie. Tiaras. I think
You guys are
everybody
making
needs a
me
tiara.
super excited because now I get to go shopping for ball gowns and tiaras, which sounds super fun to me. Sounds great.
See, this is why you guys are my people, because sometimes people are not as excited about the frivolous, silly little things or the cute little stories. Or they tell me that our cutesy animals that we do are more appropriate for a 5-year-old than they are for a grown woman. And I'm like, but I want fairy wings and crown and tiaras and ball gowns. And I love the 3 billy goat scruff. And so I'm glad that you guys love them too. And glass slippers. We could have a great time. Although by 2027, we may be off of the princess kick by that point. I don't know.
I think we can still do ball gowns. Now you guys are making me have a theme night. Now I want ball gowns, and now my team's gonna be like, great, who gave her this idea?
It will take place in June of 2027. And yes, in case you didn't know, Pocatello, Idaho is the town that Twice Shoe Cheap is located in. It's in southeast Idaho. We're about 2.5 hours north of Salt Lake City. So we're
And
excited.
Karen just said she can't wait to register. Dawn, do you want to talk about the early registration for Surprise Box Club?
Oh, yes. Okay. So I know we talked about this last week, and I always feel weird like saying, "Hey guys, go buy this thing" or whatever. But currently the Surprise Box Club is open for enrollment. So if you got our Advent box, that I hope you have enjoyed it. If you want to be spoiled all year and get our 3 gift boxes that we send next year, then Surprise Box Club is the place to get that. There are a few things that you get as part of the Surprise Box Club that are extra bonuses. So one of those is that you can currently pre-order the 2026 Advent box. We don't even have a theme for it yet, although actually, you know what? I can tell you. Our current working theme for next year's Advent box is going to be called Into the Wild. I don't have a image for it yet, but we're already kind of thinking about that. Um, that so you can pre-order next year's Advent box at $60 off, which is the highest discount we will ever give on that. That will become available to everybody else for pre-order in June of next year. But you can always sneak your name in early by joining the Surprise Box Club. Also, as part of the Surprise Box Club, you get early access to enrollment for that summer camp that we were just talking about. So the people who are in the club will get an email. Is it a day early, Katie, or
It's 24 hours early, and it's the only discount that I'm going to offer on summer camp is people who are in the
is to
Surprise
the
Box Club.
Surprise Box people, the only
Yep.
discount. And we have 130 slots for that. And we have 2,000 slots in the Surprise Box Club. So it is entirely possible that in the only people who will ever see or have the chance to enroll in summer camp will be people who are in the Surprise Box Club. So if you were very excited about that, I would suggest you join the club. And then let me spoil you all year because I promise I will.
For that first for summer camp, I cannot add more spots. That is the max capacity I can do at the venue. So
There's
we
no more room in the venue.
no more room, no more. That's all.
Um,
So 130 is the
Mary
hard
Ellen,
max.
yes, if you forgot to add your Advent box to your Surprise Box Club membership, yes, you can totally do that. Just send us a message at support and Jen will get that taken care of for you. I know I saw another question. Oh, Sandy, why twice sheared sheep? Okay, so back in the day, when I so those of you who don't know, Twice Your Cheap was my stay-at-home mom job. This was what I did when I have 5 children, and when they were really little, this is what I did to help put food on the table. I used to count how many sets of stitch markers I needed to sell in order to buy a gallon of milk. So we've grown quite a bit since then, but Twice Sheared Sheep got its name because before I was making stitch markers, I used to sell recycled yarn. I fell down the rabbit hole into the knitting space when somebody gifted me a skein of wool hand-dyed yarn. It was the lovely founder of Socks That Rock. I'm not sure that they're still in business at this point, but I will always be eternally grateful to her that I was kind of a newbie knitter on the internet. This was before the days of YouTube. And I made a comment in a forum somewhere that said, I don't know why anybody would use wool yarn. That's itchy and awful. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. And the lovely owner of Socks That Rock says, "Oh, honey, you don't really know what wool yarn is." Because my only experience was like one of those awful scratchy sweaters that my grandma had from like the 70s or something. And so she sent me a skein of hand-dyed yarn, and it was the most amazing thing I had ever knit with. And I said, "This is the only thing that I ever want to knit with." But I was a poor little mom of small children, and I didn't have any money for a yarn budget more than acrylic yarn at Michael's. But I ran across blog tutorial on how to unravel thrift store sweaters to recycle them for the yarn. It was kind of based on the idea of during World War II or during World War I that women used to unravel previous sweaters and reknit so that they could knit socks for soldiers or things like that. And so I followed that tutorial, and the very first thing that I ever sold as a business was yarn that I had recycled from a thrift store sweater that I had unraveled several sweaters at that point, and I'm like, I now have more yarn that I know what to do with. I wonder if anybody else would be interested in good yarn. And so, in order to sell on eBay, um, I had to give my company a name. And so I named it Twice Sheared Sheep because I thought, oh, okay, I'm selling recycled yarn. And the first shearing is when you shear the wool off of the sheep. And then it's kind of like a second shearing when I unravel that sweater and make it yarn again. And so that's how our company name came about. But over the years, I've thought, oh, maybe I should change the name of our company because inadvertently I gave us a tongue twister of a company name. And I have to say it very slowly and very carefully every time I do because of all of the S's in it together. Karen, thank you for joining us. No, never change it. I'm so glad because we're kind of stuck with it now. But that's how we became Twice Sheared Sheep. Um, I um, I don't have any other things for you ladies today, or for gentlemen, or whoever has joined us today. If you have any other questions, I'd love to answer your questions. And if not, then we can adjourn. Judy, you have a question about Facebook. Okay, ask your question. Tell me what you need. You can unmute, Judy. You don't have to type it out. It's okay. Oh, how do you get the videos if not on Facebook? Okay, so all of the recordings of like this video, we post live, or Katie will post to our YouTube channel later, so you can watch it there. All of our product tutorial videos you can find on our website. You can also find them on our Instagram page. And
And if there's a specific one that you're looking for, send us an email at support@twiceandsheep.com and we can send you the link to our Vimeo that houses them. And so you can watch it from anywhere, not on any social media account. So we just have to send you that link directly.
yeah, does that help? That's okay. If you don't have any social media, if there is a particular video that you would like to see, likely it is on our website or in our pattern resources page, but send us a link, send us a message at support@twicesharedsheep.com for the one that you're looking for. And Jen is amazing. She'll send you a direct link to whatever video it is that you wanted to watch. Particularly if you wanted to see how to use some of these. The link that Katie posted earlier about the Stitch Scout, if you scroll down on that page, there's a video on how to use it on there. And then actually, Katie, can you post the link for the Advent resources page? We have been
Yeah, that's the
posting,
same one as the pattern one, but yeah, I'll post it again.
yeah, we have been posting on that page every single day. That's the same page that when you first got your Advent box, it had the little card that said, here, go to this page and you can read all of the stories that are included in the Advent box. We've been adding to that page every day with the photos and videos that we've been sharing on social media so that you can see how to use all the things. Does that help, Judy? Okay, perfect. Yay. Are there any other questions? Um, how do you do a tubular in the round cast on with the extension cords? Oh, is that the same? So I don't know whether the tubular is the same as Katie's cast on that she does with the extension cords.
It's an invisible provisional.
Yeah, so it's not a tubular.
That you can do
I
it.
don't think we have a video for the tubular cast on with the extension cords. We have one for a provisional cast on, invisible provisional cast on. Katie, do you know if we have a link for one that maybe Laura Nelkin has done for a tubular
So I've
cast on?
seen it with a tubular. Let me see.
Katie will see if she can dig up a link for that one. I honestly, I have never done a tubular cast on, so I am not the person to
Yeah.
ask. Um, oh, thank you, Anita. While she's looking that up, are there any other questions from anybody? Y'all have been delightful to hang out with today. I hope this was helpful. I hope you had a good time. Um, we'll hang out for a few more minutes while Katie sees if she can find that link, but feel free to drop off at any point, and we will see you again next week. We'll talk about the next 7 days that we got in our Advent box. We'll hang out, and of course, then it will be Christmas. And remember that joining the Surprise Box Club, you only have until January 2nd to join. So don't delay if you want to join us. We are closing the doors and not reopening them. So there is a limited time for that. Thank you guys. I'm glad you had fun. Yay! Oh, Doreen, I'm glad you're feeling so spoiled. This is my favorite thing. I love designing this. And honestly, even though I know what's in every box every day, I'm like, ooh, presents. I don't always take a box for myself. I feel like I'm stealing from the company if I do. But there were so many things in this one that I wanted that I'm like, I need my own box. I want the doodle cards. I want day 15. I want the thing that's in day 25. I want all the things. Um,
Well,
Yay, Sandy. I'm glad you had a good time. Um, Katie, if you do find that link, why don't we just post it in the Make Along Facebook group?
Yeah. So
And
from what I'm finding, a tubular cast on doesn't keep live stitches on the cast on edge. So you wouldn't
okay,
need the net extension cord from what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there was um, uh, another reason that you were thinking to use the knit extension cord, but that's what we use it for in the provisional, is to keep the live stitches so that you can use them later and slide them back on the needle.
Bobby dear, I'm going to tell everybody on Wednesday night that I saw you in person.
They're gonna be so happy.
Unmute
Oh,
yourself for just a second.
you know where I've been? On Wednesdays, I have a class, what, 2 years? Is it 2 years I haven't been on Wednesdays? And there
Mhm.
is never a time, if there's ever a Wednesday, I will be there. And
Yay.
and so I saw this and I thought, I got to do that today. I am so glad to see you and Katie. And I'm glad you're all still together because I've been wondering. And yeah, because I don't get back in time because you're just 1 hour. So yes, yes, yes. So I'm just so glad to see you all and I'm having so much fun. And yeah, yeah.
We are so glad to see your face too. And we'll tell everybody that we saw you and that you're doing good.
And I'm waiting for a Wednesday where I can break free and just come zooming in. I will do that. I'm looking forward to that. I may just skip something and do it anyway. Yeah.
Maybe. We would love to see you. And we'd love to see anybody else. We meet in this same Zoom room on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and we just sit and chat and knit. We answer knitting questions if you have them, but mostly, we just talk about life and have a good time together.
And
So,
we always find out what Dawn's going to have for supper and how she doesn't have to make it.
And
And
about how good her French fries are.
yeah, right.
hey, last week I posted the link to my blog from years and years ago with my tutorial on how to unravel sweaters for yarn. And my chicken nugget recipe and my bread recipe are both on that blog on the internet.
Oh,
So,
really?
they are.
Even the bread recipe? Whoa.
So when my kids were little, I was absolutely, full on domestic housewife. Mostly because we were very poor and I made bread every day or every other day, and I made chicken nuggets from scratch. I still make chicken nuggets from scratch.
Well, when you told about what you did back then, I remember you telling about that. And I thought, boy, this is just going back in time. And yeah, I knew that story. Yeah.
So the blog, Brenda, the blog name was My Virtual Sanity. Um, and I haven't posted on it in over a decade, in a long time, but it still exists on the internet. And you can find the tutorial on how to unravel thrift store sweaters. And you can find my chicken nugget recipe, which, Katie, my chicken nuggets are yummy, aren't they?
What
Yes.
is the blog? What is the
But
blog name?
yes,
The blog name is what?
My Virtual Sanity.
Okay. Blogspot.com.
Um,
My virtual sanity, myblogspot.com, like that.
Hold on, let me see.
Oh, I wish I had
My Virtual Sanity blog.
my virtual
Um,
sanity blog.
It is donprickett.blogspot.com.
Don Prickett. All right, we can get there.
Oh, look at that. I think the last post was June 4th, 2009, and I was celebrating 500 sales on Etsy.
That's not bad for then, huh?
We're a little bit bigger than that. Anita, you found it. Yes. On the left-hand side, it has a couple of older patterns that I had designed. It has a couple of my bread recipes or my recipes in there, my cooking recipes. It's got a couple of tutorials. It it was a long time ago.
Sounds like fun.
I think it's got some pictures of my twins who are seniors this year when they were tiny babies and just born. So
You had the twins. Yep.
oh, the potato soup is good too. Although it does have flour in it, Anita, it might not work for you. I don't know. Um,
She can try to substitute.
but okay, ladies, I've got to go. I will see you next Monday. Goodbye, friends.
Bye. It was
Bye.
Fine flower though.
a slice.
Oh, thinking of somebody else.